Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a new series which is going to revolve about a fidget spinner. So by the end of it, you're going to have something that looks pretty much like this. It might be a bit different. It's going to be your own design, but this is going to be the be all and end all of it. It is an assembly, so that means it does work. You can drag it, you can spin it around. It has got all the interior elements inside. So it's got the seals, it's got the bearing cage, and we're going to have a go at modeling that in a future video. But for now, we're just going to focus on the bit that is in yellow or gold. That's the main bit we're going to do today. So it might look like quite a simple shape with three circles joined up by some arcs. It's the geometry of it is actually quite in depth and quite complex. So you might just need to bear with me while we go through some of the intricate setup of making this shape. So first thing you're going to do is the way we're going to make it is we're going to do a third of this. We're going to draw and we're going to model exactly one third of it. If you imagine it almost like a Mercedes symbol, the Mercedes logo with the three spikes, we're going to model one of the spikes, one third, and then we're just going to repeat that in a circular pattern and to get each piece exactly equal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to section off on my top plane a third of my workspace. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw a line diagonally and up to the left. I'm going to go into my dimension mode. I'm going to click once on that diagonal line. Once on the vertical plane, I can see through the middle of my workspace. And that's going to, because they're not parallel, it'll allow me to set an angle. And you're going to set that to 60. Once you've done that, you're just going to mirror that or do it again. It's up to you. I'm going to click on the mirror tool, click on that vertical plane, and just click on the line I want mirrored, and it's going to flip it over for me. Okay, now this is confined for me exactly where my workspace is going to be for this first bit of the video. If at any point you need to rewind or you need to just listen again to something I've said or you're not quite keeping up, just go back, pause the video, and I'll be waiting for you when you're done. Right. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a circle on this plane, on this vertical line here. So right in the middle of my workspace, and I'm going to make that both 30 mil and 30 mil away from the origin. So the way we dimension a circle is we click on the origin of the circle, so the center of it, we click on the center point or the point we want to measure from or to, and we just pull the dimension out and we type 30 in there. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to draw the inner bit. So a fidget spinner will have a hole, or usually have a hole in each of the arms, and you're going to dimension that as 22. Okay, right, now we've got to the awkward bit. Um, and you might have a fidget spinner that you're working along with. Because it's such a curved object, it's tricky to set dimensions of it. So I'm working from a spec I found on Google. I'm sure it's not the definitive one, but it's one that seems to have worked for me. So if you want to follow along, do so. If you've got your own dimensions that you're working to, please go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another angle line from the center of my circle. Okay, and I'm going to set that angle between that and my normal to 54 degrees. And then I'm going to draw a line from the center of my circle straight down to my origin. What this has done, this has enabled me to cut off this bit of my circle, this bit of the arc. So get my trim tool, I just click and drag through there, and I'm hoping that's going to disappear. And the be all and end all of this trick is to cut away all the lines until I leave the end of this line open. Yeah, I want this arc to be open-ended. And what that's going to allow me to do is get what's called a tangent arc. So if you go into your toolbar, you've got your line, your rectangle, your circle. In the drop down, you'll have what's called a 3-point arc. In the arc drop down, you'll have a tangent arc as well. And the good thing about this is wherever you click, as long as it's on an open-ended line, it's going to pull out and it's going to do that. It's going to behave like a regular tangent for me. And I'm going to just snap this. It doesn't matter where. I'm just going to snap this to my central line. Once I've done that and I've got this lovely flowing arc, I'm going to set the dimension between this point and this point. Now, be careful here. If you pull it all the way down, it's going to set just the horizontal distance. So the distance of the base of the triangle if you're looking at that dimension. If you pull it all the way out to the side, you're going to get a height of the triangle. I want the hypotenuse, so I want the actual definitive length of this line. I need to pull it out diagonally so that it's on that angle, and it should, I'm going to make that exactly 13. Okay, I think we're about there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this excess. I'm going to trim this out here. I'm going to trim this here. What I do need to do, I need to put a hole in for my bearing cage in the middle of my, from the origin of the actual workspace. And that's going to be 16 mil in diameter. Now, we're almost ready to do our, in fact, no, sorry. I've told you wrong. Go back, press Ctrl Z just to undo everything until you've got these arms. We're still going to need these arms, sorry. That's on me. You're still going to need these two angles coming out. So put your circle in, dimension that is 16 mil. And now you're going to draw a line from the center of your top circle here. And you just want to make an intersection over the top. So you want to make a barrier here because we're going to just take the trim tool and trim those bits there. And I bet you can guess where this is going. We're going to mirror everything from here onto this side. Save as doing it again. So mirror tool. I'm going to click my mirror line, which is the middle. And you can either click and drag around everything, or I'm just going to click the individual lines until I'm there. And that's about what I want. Now, what I need to do is get rid of all the lines that I've drawn, all my construction lines that are currently cutting through my shape. I need to get rid of anything that's currently outside of this parameter. So all that I really need is this sort of, I guess, piston or pendulum looking object. So I'm going to just trim that line, trim this line, trim this line here. I want to keep my arc, so that's going to be the circle that I made. That's going to be where my internals and my sealants, my bearings are going to be. I'm going to get rid of this line. I'm going to get rid of this line. And I'm going to get rid of this line, and this line. So what you actually, I can get rid of these two as well. What I actually have now, I can even get rid of those, is exactly a third of my fidget spinner, and it's an open shape. And you'll see why it's open now. It's because these lines are going to join onto their repeated parts. So going to your circular pattern tool, the good thing about this is the circular pattern tool defaults to 3 parts circled around the origin. And the way we've drawn our design, we want 3 parts and we've drawn it around the origin. So all we should really need to do for this is click the circular pattern tool, highlight everything, and because we've made our degrees, our angles, we've got exactly a third cut off, we should have the exact shape remaining just patterned in for us. So if I highlight everything now, look at that, how good is that? Don't touch anything at the minute. It should, once I click away from it, I'm hoping, there we go, it's all grayed in. That means that it's a solid shape and it's all joined up. Now, the one discrepancy I do have, which is superficial, if you like, you can't really see, it's too small to see, but where I've joined this arc to that line, remember we drew that line, out and we had it meeting this arc, 60 degrees. You can see there's not actually a smooth curve. It's not exactly normal. So all I need to do there is go into my fillet tool, and I'm going to click on that node and this node and that node, and just to make sure it's as smooth as possible, I'm going to pull that out. And you can see, even though I'm pulling out loads, it's not actually doing an awful lot. It's not actually growing very far. That'll do, I think. I'm just going to click away. Oh, and I've got, yeah, it's a tiny fillet, but it'll do. It's not going to matter a lot whatsoever. And there, I've still got a line that's been repeated on the pattern. I can just get rid of that. No, that's pretty much it. What you can do now is you're just going to do an extrude. So hopefully with the extrude, it's going to leave everything except the holes. It's perfect. You're going to make sure you put the extrude to 7 mil, and you're going to make it symmetric. So it's just pulling out over that top plane. That's going to be important later. Okay, how are we doing for time? We've got a few minutes left, that's fine. I'll tell you what, the last thing we're going to do in this part of the video is we're just going to put a chamfer on each edge. So I'm going to put a chamfer on the outside edge, and I'm going to make that 2 mil. I'm going to put a chamfer on the bottom edge, and I'm going to make that 2 mil as well. I'm going to click the tick, and that is where we're going to leave it for today. If you want to see what it looks like with colour on, just select the whole thing, right click in the body somewhere, go to add appearance, and you just click a colour. Yeah, it'll show you all the faces. Just click a colour and it will snap to that colour. Okay, I'm going to leave mine as blue. In the next video, we're going to look at some of the rubber sealant for some of our the holes, put some grips in there, and then we're going to get onto the bearing. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. If you like the video or you've got any questions, just drop a like and comment below, and I'll see you then. Thank you very much. Bye.